Biology Part 58. Central chemoreceptors. These are located in medulla itself and respond to H plus ions in the same way as the carotid bodies. They act directly on the respiratory centers to increase ventilation whenever the level of H plus starts to rise. Although the system described above is complicated, it is only a small part of the body mechanism for regulating the supply of oxygen and the removal of carbon dioxide from its tissues. A whole series of parallel changes take place in the circulatory system, as for example, when the heart rate and the blood pressure increase during the exercise. Equally important are the subtle interactions between oxygen and hemoglobin and carbon dioxide, which affect the transport of respiratory gases. Some of these processes will be discussed in subsequent tutorials, and this complexity of the total system is not altogether unexpected in view of the vital importance of the chemical reactions of the respiration in supplying energy for all the other life activities. Experimental study of respiration. The respiratory rate of an organism is usually equivalent to the rate of aerobic inspiration taking place within its tissues. The chemical equation in this process is as follows. From the equation you can see that the respiratory rates can be estimated in several ways. For example, by measuring the rate of oxygen consumption, the rate of carbon dioxide production, or the rate of energy production. In practice, oxygen uptake is normally measured using an instrument called the respirometer. For purposes of comparison, and the respiratory rates of different tissues are expressed in terms of the amount of oxygen used up in a given time by 1 gram of tissue held at constant temperature. One possible design of respirometer is illustrated in the figure. The small invertebrates or other respiring tissues to be investigated placed in a perforated gauze basket inside tube A. Beneath the basket, a rolled filter paper soaked in potassium hydroxide solution acts to remove carbon dioxide from surrounding air. This means that any carbon dioxide which is produced by respiration is immediately absorbed so that it does not affect the volume of air remaining. Therefore, as you can confirm by referring to the equation for aerobic respiration, any changes in the volume which do take place must be due to the uptake of oxygen. These changes are measured by the means of manometer and the calibrated scale. To avoid errors, temperature fluctuations during the experiments are reduced to a minimum by immersing apparatus in constant temperature water bath. In a constant temperature water bath, minor variations should be cancelled out by tube B, which acts as a control. The syringe is used to level the manometer fluid after each measurement. In human, samples of expired air are easily collected and can be compared to atmospheric air by gas analysis. A known volume of air is exposed firstly to the potassium hydroxide, which absorb carbon dioxide, and secondly alkaline pyrogalol, which absorb oxygen. The changes in volume which take place are noted and allow the approximate composition of gas sample to be calculated. From results of this kind, the person's respiratory quotient RQ can be determined, where the values of RQ to be expected vary depending on which substance are broken down by respiration. Glucose gives a theoretical value of RQ which is equal to 1.0, while fats RQ is approximately 0.7 and for proteins approximately 0.8. Under normal conditions, the human RQ is in the range of 0.8 to 0.9, indicating that some fats and proteins as well as carbohydrates are used for the respiration. Values of RQ greater than 1.0 are obtained when anaerobic aspiration is in progress. An alternative method is investigating the rate of respiration in a person's tissues involved measuring the amount of energy which is released in a given time. All of this energy eventually leaves the body as heat and can be collected using a special form of calorimeter range enough to accommodate people. We can see it in the figure. Water flowing through the apparatus is also there.